After D-Day and before the war is actually over, the big three, the leaders of the Allied nations, Stalin in the Soviet Union, Franklin Roosevelt in the United States, and Winston Churchill in Great Britain, meet at a place called Yalta. And they have a conference to decide how they're going to settle the peace. And the agreement that they come up with is that they were going to divide Germany. Now, there's several different reasons for this. One is that the Soviet Union and the United States didn't really trust each other. The Soviet Union, as a communist country, felt that the delay in starting that second front was a result of the capitalist democracies of the United States and Britain wanting to get as many communists killed by the Nazis as possible before they invaded. There's a lot of distrust here. And the Soviet Union looked at the last few wars and realized that the Europeans have invaded through Germany and Poland into the Soviet Union and caused a lot of devastation. So their goal after the war is going to be to set up satellite countries or satellite states. And they're going to want to prevent future invasions. And part of that is going to be what we're going to see later with what they call the Iron Curtain. And part of that is going to start with this division of Germany. This is not to scale, but what we're going to see is that the British, French, and Americans are going to occupy Western Germany. And it's going to become a capitalist democratic country, and eventually it's going to start flourishing. And the Soviet Union is going to occupy Eastern Germany. And at first, Stalin, after the war is over, is going to plunder East Germany. They're going to take all the machinery and all the natural resources they can out of East Germany, send it back to the Soviet Union, almost as a punishment or reparations for what happened during the war. The really controversial thing, the thing that's going to cause all the problems, though, is the capital here at Berlin. Because they decide that they're going to cut Berlin in half as well. And Eastern Berlin is going to stay part of the Soviet Union. But West Berlin is going to be controlled by the Americans, the British, and the French, eventually uniting together. So there's going to be this little bastion of capitalist democracy inside all of this Soviet Union communism. And that's going to be one of the things that sets the stage for tensions all throughout the Cold War. The other thing that happens at Yalta is that the United States asks the Soviet Union for help in the Pacific. Remember, the United States is still fighting the Japanese in the Pacific. The Soviet Union is going to move into the Korean Peninsula so that they can then invade Japan if they need to. It turns out they don't need to do that, but when they invaded the Korean Peninsula, they're going to leave communism behind, and that's going to set up the Korean War later. Also, they began plans for a new United Nations, which is going to be similar to the old League of Nations with some improvements and some context for this new generation. But they are trying to set up that United Nations, which we still have today. And officially, the Victory in Europe Day, VE Day, is May 8th, 1945. That's when the German Nazi Party surrenders. The new German government, the Nazi Party collapses, the new German government surrenders, and the war in Europe is over. Then the United States can start setting its sights on the Pacific theater, and they're going to be documenting all the horrible things that went on with the Holocaust.